Hello everyone. My name is Ale. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you were already around here. Alright, so this week's video is part 2 of our topic from last week, which is social media versus mental health. Now, let's start. Okay, so as I told you last week, I expected to do just one video about this topic because there were some lives that I explained to you on Instagram, and I had this kind of interviews. So to shut myself up and start with this, we're gonna go with the fourth question. Before starting the fourth question, you should go and watch my last video if you want to see and understand this topic. So the fourth question was, how many hours did they spend daily on every platform that they use, like taking into account all of them? Alright, so this is more like a self-evaluation question because I think every person is different, every person spends their time in different ways. Because for example, Cindy told me she spends like 6 to 7 hours taking into account every platform, like on a daily basis. Talking with Pamela, she told me, I have to be honest, I spend 16 hours on my phone. And that's what I mean, like this is a type of question of self-evaluation because we all are different and we know how much time we spend on our phones, how much time do we spend talking with someone on social media, just looking at pictures, looking at posts, looking at tweets and different stuff. And for example, someone might be that much on their phone because they work with their phones. Sometimes, and me included, I spend so many hours on my phone not doing anything productive. And what we said about this is that even though we are not like, for example, a whole hour on the phone or a whole 5 hours on the phone, but the problem is that we don't realize this. But actually, you can be, for example, 3 hours on your phone and then you have to go to work, or you go out with your friends, or you're at home but you are busy doing something. Almost every person goes with their phone everywhere. You all the time have your phone with you. And even though sometimes we just check our phone to see notifications or stuff like that, you are connected. Like even though if you don't take the password off and you just see your notifications, like that is still being connected to your phone, to social media. So yeah, that's what we were talking about. Like you may not be in your phone all the time. You are all the time checking your phone. Even if you're just checking the notifications from the tab, from the open tab. There are some bad things about being so clingy and so connected to our phones. Like for example, they said that it's better if you wake up and you don't check your phone instantly. Why? Because sometimes you check your phone and while you were sleeping something bad happened, like some bad news, even though if it's not from your country or from your family or whatever. But just waking up and giving your brain that message of like, I just woke up and I see bad news. I just woke up and you realize something bad happened. Like that cannot be good. You will wake up with a negative vibe, with a negative mood. So they say it's way better if you wake up and don't check your phone. Go like make your bed, go have some breakfast, have a shower, and then when you get ready, okay, then check your phone. And I know it's really difficult because we want to know what was happening while we were sleeping, but like it or not, it's not good. Another thing that it's supposed to have an effect on your day is that, of course, as we already talked about it, waking up and just checking your phone. What happens if we do the opposite? Checking our phone until the time we go to sleep. That is not good at all. Why? I know you might be thinking, okay, then we don't check our phone the whole day. why it's not good to check our phone while we are almost asleep or while we are trying to go to sleep. Because the same thing about bad news. You have something to think about or something bad happened and you will just go to sleep and maybe you will have insomnia and then you will not be able to sleep, or you might dream with it and then you will wake up the next day with a bad dream. I have nightmares that are horrible, so it's better if you don't see your phone just before going to sleep. And I don't know, it will affect your sleep because you might be sleeping but your brain will continue to work and you will just continue thinking about it. So that's not good. And going back to what I said about waking up, there's a study that says that the 80% of people in the morning checks their phone and stares at it like for 15 minutes. All right, so now we go with question number 5. If they could think of any mistake that they did at any point, and how did they overcome that mistake? Or how will they advise someone else to not commit the same mistake? So here we talked about several things. And the first one is avoid being vulnerable in social media. Why? Because yes, it's true that we are humans and we are not robots. We have emotions. Things happen. We cannot be happy all the time. And when you are a content creator, sometimes it's very difficult. If you're posting your life and your daily activities, it's very difficult if someday you had something going on or something bad happens. But why do we say avoid being vulnerable? Because there are people that follow you just because they want to talk about you. Not because they like you, not because they like your content, not because they want to support you. Like, actually, there is people that are there just to talk about you, just to see when you do something wrong, just to be there when you make a mistake. They are not gonna talk about the good things. They are gonna talk just about the bad things. So that's why not being vulnerable, not putting yourself out there for people to talk about you. And not just about hate, but there's so many people on social media that have wrong ideas, that have bad intentions, negative vibes. So putting yourself out there, aside from the content that you create, sharing that much things about your family and your friends and like different stuff that is very personal information sometimes can be very dangerous. So we have to avoid giving out much information, more than the one that we want to share. Another thing is assuming that people have a perfect life. As we said, not everyone will post their problems on social media. It's normal for people to try to hide their problems in social media. So the person that you follow on Instagram, that is your role model, for whatever reason you like their content, you have to be clear that their life is not perfect. As I have said before many times, everyone posts their best side, their best angle. Like, you have to be sure everyone has problems. So just because you see someone's account full of photos about different restaurants and different places and with family and friends, that doesn't mean they don't have problems. That doesn't mean they have a perfect life. And there's so much hate going around these days that we have to be very careful and we have to think before talking about someone. Because as we have problems, someone else has them too. Another thing that we talked about is, even as content creators, if you are a content creator, you of course follow other content creators. And we follow people that just create content because it's their personal life, but not because of any reason in a specific. The point where I want to get here is that we are all in some way content creators and we follow other content creators. But there is nothing written on stone to follow someone. If you start following someone because any different reason, I don't know, at some point, but you don't like their content anymore, unfollow them. That's why we have that button right there. Follow, unfollow, unfollow, follow. Just do it. It doesn't matter who it is. Even if it's a family member, a friend, or whoever it is, by any reason, again, you don't like anymore their content, just unfollow them. Why will you want to be following someone that you don't like what they post? You don't like their ideas, you don't like blah, 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 I don't know. Just unfollow them. Believe me, it will be awesome for your mental health. Another thing that I don't get is why people follow people that they don't like. We are not talking here about the content that these people post, but about the person itself. Why will you want to follow someone you don't like? I don't do that. I can't. Why? Why will I want to go see their post every time that I go on my platform? It doesn't make sense. I know you know it doesn't make sense. So why do you follow people you don't like? Alright, so we got to the last question of this video and the last one of the lives on Instagram as well. So I ask, what things that they would recommend someone that is a content creator or who's not a content creator with a huge following or a few followers, what will they recommend for people to maintain a balance between their mental health and social media? So one of the things they said was be authentic. That is the most important thing on social media. Accept yourself and love yourself. Why? Because if you don't love yourself, no one else will. It will be very difficult. Why am I telling you this? Because when we start to accept and love ourselves, our self-esteem becomes stronger. And everything gets better when we have our self-esteem to the top. Of course, there is, as I talked in another video, there is something bad to self-esteem when we get to narcissism. But what I mean when I say to the top is on a good level of self-esteem. Why? Because this will help you not care about what everyone's thinking. And if you're authentic, there's no one that can say you anything. You will do what you want, you know what you want, and you like what you're doing. There's no one that can tell you wrong. So be authentic, be just yourself. You don't have to be imitating anyone, because there's many imitators in the world. We don't need any more. What we need is authentic people who know what they want, who know what they like, who know what they are doing. Now, second advice / recommendation. Take care of your content. Be careful with your content. So to be authentic, we are not saying to lose control over everything and just post your whole gallery on your platforms. No, we're not saying that. What we are saying is first about taking care of your content is, as we are being authentic, of course, we have to be careful of not being imitating anyone. To keep your essence, to keep what you are, and not change your essence just because negative comments come to you or because negative people come to you. So being authentic is being sure of what you're doing, and that will help you to create your content as well. Know what you want to post, know what you want to create for people. We have to also be conscious of what we are posting, because we have to know who are we posting for. We have to know who our audience is. And for example, I know that, and I'm not saying that you have to take into account every single viewer that you have on every platform, every single follower that you have on your platform. No, I'm not saying that, because we will never have that type of control. It's too many people, too many accounts. What I'm saying is on things that we might have some kind of control. Like, for example, yeah, I know my videos are educational and informational, but even though my videos are about psychology, I know that there's topics that are not for kids, like, for example, eating disorders or mental disorders. Those are topics that might be a little bit hard on kids. So for example, the control that I have for that is that nowadays kids have smartphones, have iPads, have everything at hand, and they watch whatever they want. So what do I do to have some control over that? Every time I post a video, there's something on YouTube that says, is your video for kids or is not for kids? I still don't post it for kids because even though I might have some more reach if I post them for kids, I think some topics might not be for them. So I can have some kind of control in that. So yeah. All right, and the third recommendation is meditation. Why meditation? We talked about on the lives that even though we post what we like and we create our content and we manage our accounts and everything and all that, we don't have any type of control over what people would think, over the comments, over opinions. Not everyone thinks alike. So as I said on my last video, not everyone will like your content, even if you do great content. That doesn't mean everyone will like it. And what we mean by meditating is that sometimes there might be comments that will hurt you and will make you feel bad and whatever. But if you have strong self-esteem, that might not happen. And if it happens, well, just meditate. Just think no one thinks alike. And you have to respect everyone's opinion. As long as they are respecting you, you cannot do anything about what they like or what they don't like. So we will have to live with negative comments our whole life. Just learn to live with them and meditate with bad things and bad people and negative people. Alright guys, so we have come to the end of this video. This is the part 2 of my last video. Go check it out if you have not watched it, and I hope you like this different kind of videos. Thank you so much for watching, and of course don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like my content. Alright, I will see you on the next one. Bye!